Hello, my friends. My name is Miss Stormy Daniels, and as we get started with this showcase video, I just want to welcome you and thank you for your time. I know whether you're attending live with us in this EdPuzzle Live PD, or you're tuning in later on demand through the power of EdPuzzle, of course, I just want to say that we see you. We recognize the hard work and dedication you have for your students. And as an educator still in the classroom myself, I totally get it, my friends. I know that some days it seems like mission impossible. What are we going to do? Students aren't engaged. We have learning gaps, yada, yada, yada. My friends, I'm here to tell you, if nothing else you get from me today, I'm here to tell you that this is mission possible. If we work together, if we work smarter, not harder, we can totally do this for our students. So my goal by the end of this short little video is to inspire you, is to let you know that not only is it mission possible, but my friends, we are going to realize that I'm possible with EdPuzzle. All right, so let's get started. Just sit back, enjoy your journey. All right, there'll be plenty of time for questions, Q&A at the end. And most importantly, we're in this together, my friends. You have an idea for creation. You have a room full or a world full, if this is on demand, full of educators just waiting to step in there and work together for our students. So let's get started. So hello there, my friends. Welcome to my classroom. Well, it's not technically my classroom, but there's a lot of similarities. Do you have students that are not engaged? Do you have students that are shy, that don't know how to respond in a whole group setting? Of course, we might have a couple students like Mr. Moose up there, who's always on all the time, but the majority of our students are not, right? So what do we do about it? No problems, my friend. We bring in the power of EdPuzzle. EdPuzzle not only engages and excites our learners, but I'm going to show you a very specific way where you can personalize learning for your students and make it exciting to finish a lesson. Imagine. So we're going to hop on over and dive inside the world of EdPuzzle. Are you with me? So here we are, my friends, inside the world of EdPuzzle. We know that EdPuzzle excites. We know that EdPuzzle engages. We know that EdPuzzle educates. But did you know you are the key to that learning? You are the one that's going to make this happen. Today, I'm going to show you and focus on just 3 things. First, teacher-created content, possibly for PD. Second, teacher-created content for learning. And finally, the most powerful, student-created content. So let's hop over to that teacher dashboard and see what these look like, shall we? So the first thing we're going to think about, and the first thing I'm going to share with you, is teacher-created content, perhaps for PD. You might wonder why I'm starting here. Well, my friends, if you're a coach of teachers, you might not see the value to stick around if we jump straight into the student creation. And also, all of creation is the same in EdPuzzle. So now we'll take a look at how I used EdPuzzle to flip PD. And this provides an example for coaches and teachers on how to personalize learning for your students. So there I was at the MiniCast conference, and I had the privilege of presenting or sharing on the framework of the Modern Classroom Project. And you'll see in this example that I'm sharing now, teachers didn't sit in a classroom and listen to me talk to them about personalized learning. Goodness, no. As teachers, we wouldn't really put much value in that. But instead, the teachers jumped in head first, whether they knew they were doing it or not, they not only saw the framework of modern classroom, but they were able to see, but with the use of EdPuzzle, how their voice would come through and how they could use it with their students or with their teachers to really get them engaged in the learning. Oftentimes, teachers might not answer a question during PD. Maybe they don't want it to go on any longer. Maybe they're embarrassed, just like our students are, to respond publicly to different things. However, using EdPuzzle in this way in a PD really allowed them to see into my examples as the facilitator of learning, but also throughout there, I could put in things like the note here that further explains what I'm saying.
So how do I know who's working on that? Well, I can look around the...
And this was more powerful than sitting whole group in a PD. Maybe they can't see the screen. Maybe I didn't provide closed captioning for language barriers, but I can do all of that in my video. And we can do that for your students as well. So I wanted to first show you how to think about delivering content through EdPuzzle to your adult learners as well. Not only is it great for engagement, but also, are your teachers ever tired at 2:30 on a Friday afternoon? I know I sure am. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not getting much out of that PD, that amazing content you're bringing me as a coach. But if you would have put it in an EdPuzzle, I can sip my coffee on a Saturday morning and engage with your content. Imagine that. Let's pop on over to our second idea, shall we? So here we are with our second thought, and this is content created by you for your learners. So let's get started and look at an example. So here I have one of my recent videos, and as we deep dive into this video, I just want to say you might be thinking, that looks very familiar. That looks like one of those required curriculum lessons. You're right, my friends. So if you're thinking that, then you must be one of the teachers, like I am, that are required to use a mandated curriculum. I'm going to tell you, my friends, I understand that sometimes that's what makes our job impossible. We think we have no control over how we do what we know to do. I'm going to show you today that that's not the case. So we can bring the power of that required curriculum and mesh it with our best practices and bring the love of learning to our students. Let's see an example of that, shall we? So here is one of those required lessons that I created. You'll notice that I used a regular presentation tool and made a recording within it. And then I'm able to either export it to YouTube or export it directly into EdPuzzle. Either way is easy, my friends, just a couple clicks. Brings my content, my videos to my students through the power of EdPuzzle. When I record my lessons, I don't say exactly what I'm going to say in that required curriculum. So while I use the script that we have, I also personalize it for my students. I might talk to my students while I'm teaching in the video. I might remind them of some things, some background knowledge, some things they've already learned, some things we're about to learn, to really connect it to them. So why not just do it whole group? Well, when my students listen to my lessons in a video, they're able to, first of all, hear more clearly my articulation, especially when it's a phonemic awareness activity or a language speaking and listening activity. My students are able to hear me speak, whereas they might not hear me in a whole group setting because of all the distractors, right? Another reason this is helpful is we might be that silent student in the background that doesn't want to respond, but they have a voice, and how do we bring it forward? We allow them the opportunity to express their thinking, their knowledge, and sometimes their mistakes. It is through their mistakes that we can truly catch them right at that prime time of learning and help them along. So you see that my students aren't just listening to my videos. I also embed in my videos opportunities for them to engage either in a note taker, in their activity book, in a problem-solving activity on paper. So they're not just sitting and getting, but yet they're listening to me guide them through their thinking, their learning, and their problem solving. So we don't just put them in the corner and put them in a video and they sit and get. Goodness no, they are engaged the whole way, both on paper and then they put their responses that they solved on paper into EdPuzzle. The reason we do that is we're not taking books home to grade, and also we can provide immediate feedback. Let's look at how we can provide that feedback. So I'm going to jump over here back into our dashboard. I'm going to go to that class and I'm going to notice that lesson in that class. I'm going to click on it. I see who has completed the lesson. I see who has never even viewed the lesson. And then I see who started the lesson and what progress they're at. You'll notice these students that have made progress have answered a few questions. And this one student here is really struggling. So that student needs my immediate help, right? If I have students in red, they haven't started. If they're in yellow, I can easily see where to hone in on in the classroom. So I'm not just going to call them out. I'm going to walk over and casually help them. And EdPuzzle makes that possible. You'll notice I have 33 answers to grade. I'm going to click on this, and I recognize as a teacher, the most important time to give feedback is immediately when they make the mistake. That's not always possible, but with EdPuzzle, we get a little closer to that prime time where refinement matters. I can see how my students responded. I see one student put a number here instead of a text response. So that student probably needs a lot more clarification than just a reteach. I can also use Archie AI, my friend, that's what I call AI tools, and I can have it help me to auto grade these free responses. Is it going to grade everything? Goodness no, but it's going to quickly grade that student. Those majority of the students are on the point. I don't need to focus on them right now. I need to focus on the students who did not do exactly what they should have done. And then I'll get back to the rest. But our prime time needs us now when the learning is happening. So AI in EdPuzzle helps me to do that in my personalized lessons. My lessons, not some YouTube video, even though my YouTube video might be on YouTube. And those are great videos, but my students learn better from me. And your students learn better from you. Why? Not that we're the best content creators, but we know our students. We know the science of learning. We know how the brain responds to different stimuli. And we're able to bring that to our students in EdPuzzle. So I hope you see how just that simple lesson created by me can empower my students to be engaged and empower my teaching and learning to help my students in real time. Thank you for tuning in to number 2 thought. And now let's go check out the third thought we have. So we're back here in EdPuzzle, and I just want to briefly show you our third idea. Our third idea is student-created content. If I go to my content library and scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see that we come across projects. I'm going to click on one of these and show you just how easy it is, how simple it is to allow your students to create within EdPuzzle a project. So this project that I'm showcasing for you is probably a very, very simple one. And it is teach me how to spell your words. So my students have the choice each week to either complete a spelling test activity or create a project in EdPuzzle to teach me how to spell their words. You've guessed it, my friends. I hope that everybody chooses this project because not only are they going to show me their ability to spell words, but they are also going to apply their skills because they have to teach me their words and not just teach me how to spell bell, B-E-L-L, bell. Goodness no. I am requiring them, expecting them to tell me the vowel patterns, the regular sounds that letters make, the irregular sounds, and everything else we've learned in our phonemic awareness. I'm expecting those skills to come forward because they need to teach me how to spell. And they don't want me just to memorize it. So they do an amazing job when they are in charge of content creation. So this is just a simple way your students can use projects. And you can assign a project in about 3 minutes. So what do you think, my friends? Are you in? Are you ready to make learning fun and engaging in your classroom? Not with some magic tool, with your voice. You, my friend, are the expert on education. It is time to put educators back in the spotlight with EdPuzzle. Thank you for tuning in.